So let's start with Real Genius, which I owe this movie review for a long time. So Real Genius is a movie about a university program focused on geniuses, on science geniuses, run by supposedly a genius professor, and the students, as part of this program, working for the professor on a project. In this case, the project involves lasers and a particular form of laser. Now, there will be spoilers, so if you haven't watched the movie and you still want to watch the movie, then they're going to be spoilers, right? $500 to review a movie, $1,000 to set the topic of a show. And you guys can, for $1,000, I will dedicate a show to a topic of your choosing. Hasn't been one of those in a while. We did quite a few of those in January. So these kids are developing this laser. It turns out that the professor is he seems to do nothing. He basically is cruising on the genius of his students. In particular, he has one student who joined him as a freshman and now is a senior, who is supposedly really, really, really smart, and is all the achievements that have happened around this project have been his. But he has lately become a complete, lazy and cynical and just has no interest in actually using his mind on this project and actually doing anything substantial. A young student has joined the group, a freshman, just out of high school, very idealistic, very devoted, very committed, less interested in the partying and the whole college life kind of experience, which the older genius is very into right now. All right, thank you, Ryan. Thank you, Travis. Thank you, Azip. Thank you, Nathan. Thank you, guys, all going into the Green Screen Studio Fund. I appreciate that. Anyway, the movie, certainly in beginning, is really pits the older, more cynical, more party-oriented genius with the serious genius, right? The one who's serious. Van Kilmer. Very young Van Kilmer is the partying genius, and I don't know the name of the actor of the kind of the serious guy. At some point, it's discovered that really this whole laser project is a project that the professor is building for the government, but it's a project that is so secret, a government project that is so secret, that it is being hidden from the president. And what's interesting about the project is supposedly geared towards devising a laser that can basically kill a human being from space. So it is meant to be a weapon that is used in the same way as drones are used today, to target specific individuals and to kill them, right? That is the purpose of the weapon. And of course, this is going to be hidden from the president. It's some rogue CIA, whatever outfit. And the professor is also deemed as basically siphoning off funds for this project to build a home, to build a nice house for himself. So he's committing fraud. And of course, not doing any work. The kids, the professor's cynical. He thinks everybody's an idiot except him and his students. He treats human beings like trash. And in the end, of course, the kids find out that it's going to be they solve the laser problem. They build a laser. The unserious guy is threatened by the professor that he won't graduate, so he becomes serious. Yeah, he helps solve the problem. They built a laser. The laser works. Now the laser is going to be deployed. And they rush to save the day by destroying the test of the laser, destroying the professor's home. And everybody lives happily ever after, revealing the secret government project. Arrests are made, and everything is hunky-dory at the end. It's called Real Genius. So first, it's a fun movie. It's quite enjoyable. There's a lot of funny scenes in it. It's definitely. I said there were going to be spoilers in it, so I've already spoiled it. It's definitely enjoyable, definitely fun. Got a lot of positive scenes in it, a lot of funny scenes in it. It doesn't take genius for granted. The geniuses work hard. They don't just like that. Everything, they're really smart, so it comes easier to other people. But it is quite, particularly the more diligent one is working hard. So it's an entertaining, enjoyable, positive movie. It has this anti-government, anarchistic kind of perspective that you have to be careful. There's also this genius who was smarter than all the other geniuses combined, supposedly living in the basement of the university, who went, I guess, a little crazy when he discovered that his work was going to be used by the government. So it definitely has an anti-government, anti-military, just an anarchist kind of, which I don't particularly like, but is pretty common among movies like this, edge to it. But I enjoyed it. I thought it was a fun movie. Now, aesthetically, I think aesthetically it's average or below. It's a little cheesy. The acting's pretty good, but not great. Some of the actors are pretty lame. The government is not a legitimate government right now, but the government is still actively protecting your rights. So it certainly functions. Certain of its functions are certainly related, to protecting your rights, and certainly defense is one of those functions. And I have no problem with the government using drones to kill really, really bad guys who would like to kill Americans. I think there should be more due process to it, and I don't think it's the way to win a war. But that's secondarily, But there isn't a contextual explanation. It's a bad government right now, therefore we are opposing them getting a laser. We hate government, and the government shouldn't get a laser. That's not a good theme. It's not a good idea, and it encourages this kind of anarchism, right? No, it's not protecting everybody's right, but it's protecting you from murderers. The policemen out there on the streets are preventing burglaries. I mean, if the police just went away, you think there'd be less crime or more crime? I mean, try defunding the police and see what happens. Do you think that, the pathetic actions that we did after 9/11, you think that didn't reduce the amount of terrorism against Americans? Ultimately, it did. It wasn't a very efficient way. It wasn't a very good way of doing it. But, yeah, I know all the way in which government violates rights. My point is that you cannot protect yourself against murderers. No, you cannot. You can pretend you can't. You can live on a delusional impression that you can, but you cannot. I'm thankful that the police are out there, and that we don't live in an anarchist place where motorcycle gangs are ruling the streets of America, which I think we're that close to, and we saw that in the summer. We're not that far from. So no, I would not defund the police. I would, limit what they are responsible for to the things that they should be responsible for. But anyway, a movie that has not established the context of a bad government is a movie that is, with a theme like that, is an anti-government movie. And I'm not anti-government. Oh, don't start with voluntary minicorisms with me. I mean, all right, I'm gonna work hard to ignore it because it's the idea that these things can be voluntary and we don't need a government is absurd. You need government. Yeah, objectivism is not anti-government. I mean, if Ayn Rand thought that saw you do anti-government equals objectivist, she would freak out. Voluntary monarchism. Yes, that's what we need. Voluntary monarchism. Read Ayn Rand. Read Ayn Rand. See what she has to say about anarchists. All right. But you want a king. God. Okay, so that's a real genius. I mean, I don't think there are any deep philosophical themes here. The geniuses are portrayed positively. That's good. The hard work is portrayed positively. That's good. I think the kind of freewheeling, partying genius, he wants a job. He's not a whatever kind of guy. He wants a good job. So once he realizes that a real job is a risk, he starts working. He starts working. So, again, enjoyable.
And to begin with, I wonder if I can ask you to capsulize. I know this is difficult. Can I ask you to capsulize your philosophy? What is Randism?
First of all, I do not call it Randism, and I don't like that name. I call it objectivism.
All right.
Meaning a philosophy based on objective reality. Now, let me explain it as briefly as I can. First, my philosophy is based on the concept that reality exists as an objective absolute, that man's mind, reason, is his means of perceiving it, and that man needs a rational morality. I am primarily the creator of a new code of morality which has so far been believed impossible, namely a morality not based on faith.
On faith?
Not on faith, not on arbitrary whim, not on emotion, not on arbitrary edict, mystical or social, but on reason, a morality which can be proved by means of logic, which can be demonstrated to be true and necessary.
All right, all right.
Now, may I define what my morality is?
All right.
Because this is merely an introduction. My morality is based on man's life as a standard of value. And since man's mind is his basic means of survival, I hold that if man wants to live on earth and to live as a human being, he has to hold reason as an absolute, by which I mean that he has to hold reason as his only guide to action, and that he must live by the independent judgment of his own mind, that his highest moral purpose is the achievement of his own happiness, and that he must not force other people, nor accept their right to force him, that each man must live as an end in himself and follow his own rational self-interest.
May I?
All right, before we go on, reminder, please like the show. We've got 163 live listeners right now, 30 likes. That should be at least 100. I figure at least 100 of you actually like the show. Maybe there are like 60 of the Matthews out there who hate it. But at least the people who are liking it, you know, I want to see a thumbs up. There you go. Start liking it. I want to see that go to 100. All it takes is a click of a thing, whether you're looking at this. And you know, the likes matter. It's not an issue of my ego. It's an issue of the algorithm. The more you like something, the more the algorithm likes it. So, you know, and if you don't like the show, give it a thumbs down. Let's see your actual views being reflected in the likes. But if you like it, don't just sit there. Help get the show promoted. Of course, you should also share. And you can support the show at JeronBrookShow.com/support, or on Patreon or Subscribestar or Locals, and show your support for the work, for the value hopefully you're receiving from this. And of course, don't forget, if you're not a subscriber, even if you just come here to troll, or even if you're here like Matthew to defend Marx, then you should subscribe, because that way you'll know when to show up. You'll know what shows are on, when they're on. You'll get notified, right? So, yes, like, share, subscribe, support. Like, share, subscribe, support. There you go. Easy. Do one or all of those, please.